our universities are a waste of money. Look, I know some of you watching this are in this younger generation, maybe in college, but probably if you're watching this show, you're not an example of who I'm about to talk about. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. Consider the next 5 minutes as much therapeutic for me as it is probably entertaining for you. But this 18 to 25-year-old generation is weak and overly educated with no concept of reality, period. We're seeing this play out across many universities with the support for Hamas. Oh, Carl, we support Palestine, not Hamas. It's pretty much the same thing. Look, for all these soft-handed academics who want to lecture me on geopolitical conflict, save it. I spent 9 years enforcing U.S. foreign policy in a bunch of countries that hate us. I know what I'm talking about here. There's a high probability that your pot-smoking international studies professor is teaching you $60,000 a year worth of garbage. Hamas assumed political control of Gaza through elections and public support in 2006. Then they won a brief civil war and assumed even more power in 2007. So spare me the Hamas doesn't represent Palestine. It does. Literally. They were elected to. These overly educated kids, they don't care about that. Because look who's teaching them. This guy. If you have kids at Cornell, parents, pull them out immediately. A professor there told students that he found the unprompted slaughtering of Israeli civilians, quote, exhilarating and energizing. And all the students are sitting around clapping like, oh yeah, they joined in and chanting, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Palestine is free. Well, it's about to be a parking lot, but it was free until we sent paragliders to shoot up a music festival in Israel. You see, a good professor would show their students the Oslo Accords, where Israel gave a two-state solution in exchange for peace. Now, Palestine was actually so free that, in fact, they're now cutting out the water pipes that Israel built for their infrastructure to turn into rocket launchers. This is what your kids are being spoon-fed in college, folks. It's not worth the money. I can't call someone the wrong pronoun on campus without getting thrown the heck out of the school, but you can chant in favor of terrorism. That's where we're at. We have a bunch of Greta Thunbergs running around lecturing us on stuff they know nothing about. And thank God the private sector is finally noticing this stuff. Billionaires, they're dropping Ivy League funding over failure to condemn Hamas. Good job, billionaires. Even though most of these schools have billions of dollars in endowments, but it's a good start. And even more, a dozen CEOs backed Bill Ackman's call to not hire Harvard students who blamed Israel for Hamas's attack. And all these students were like, wow, my actions have consequences? You mean I can't say whatever I want? You can. But guess what? Reality sets in. Companies are free not to hire you if they think you're a petulant, crazy child. Welcome to the real world. Weird, I know. Actions have consequences. But students are now freaking out because they're scared they won't be hired. These protesters gotta learn fast. Stephen Davidoff Solomon, who teaches corporate law at UC Berkeley, is actually begging corporations not to hire his law students. He wrote his own op-ed for the Wall Street Journal, claims that the hate that some of these students prompted towards Jews should disqualify them in job searches. And of course, victimhood, here we come. How are these social warriors responding? Ooh, send me money so I can get therapy for my disagreement with my support for terrorism. I mean, like, these people are unbelievable. Wham! If you saw any footage of this, 80% of these people are wearing masks, by the way, which I find hilarious at this stage. Here's an idea. Take your virtue signaling Harvard degree and earn the money for your own damn therapy. Oh, wait, you can't get a job because you say stupid things publicly. Like 80 years ago, people in the same age range quit their jobs and joined the military to storm the beaches in Normandy to fight fascism and Nazis. Now we have kids supporting terrorists that espouse the views that are almost the exact same as Nazis and fascists. One of them even held up a swastika on his phone at a protest here in America. And this is all in between classes on microaggression, cultural insensitivity, and inclusivity. They have majors in the absolute stupidest, least applicable garbage in the workforce. But the problem isn't what they spent the 4 years studying. I really could care less what major you had to sign up for to play beer pong on the weekend. It's when they get to the workforce that their art history, their ethnic studies, their philosophy degree, or basket weaving, or whatever else they got. And now they're forced to do work that actually matters, that affects a bottom line somewhere. And this new generation confuses being educated with intelligence and life experience, of which they have neither. They go, these universities, they get this left-wing BS rammed down their throat by some professor who's likely never worked a single day in the field that they're actually teaching. And then they get to the workforce and they proceed to demand accommodations and make policies that are a net value loss for the companies that they work for. The best example of this is Alyssa Heinerscheid, who was a Harvard graduate. If you remember her, she was the young marketing genius who decided to put Dylan Mulvaney on a can of Bud Light. And when sales plummeted, she went on a podcast and proceeded to lecture the world on why she was right and everybody else is a bigot. Zero self-awareness. Look, I have no marketing degree. I don't even have a regular college degree. But I can sure tell you that if you're the #1 beer and you're on the hood of a NASCAR, running a marketing campaign to the transsexual community might alienate some of your drinkers. Just a thought. This would be funny if thousands of people didn't lose their job over it, but that's the cost of hiring this new academic generation. Oh, wow, Carl, you seem awful mad about this. Yes, I am very mad about this. I told you, this is a deeply therapeutic monologue for me tonight. I hate academia. You wonder why I'm mad? Because I'm paying for it. So are you. Both through Biden's ridiculous loan forgiveness for people who took out loans voluntarily, and through the problems that the stupidity of this generation is causing in the workforce. Look, life is hard. It's even harder when you're stupid. And unfortunately, people are getting 4-year degrees in stupid right now. You see my point? These people, they must be held accountable when entering, if they enter the workforce at all. Please, I own a bunch of companies. Save me the trouble in my next round of hiring.